Hello, my friend, and welcome. My name's Nick Zai, and I'm here to help. And today, talking about the number one thing that most people deal with, and what could that be? And this is going to be more towards the start of your journey, but hey, I still deal with it. So this is something that's going to help tremendously when you understand this. And that's how to remove suffering from one's life. And how do we remove the suffering? Well, that is the task of the Buddha. That is the task of many people who have tried to help the world to understand how can we get rid of it, and how can we just alleviate it and move on and evolve as a species from something that really plagues all of us. And that is going to be by first understanding that you are not two things out of three that I interpret it as. And that could always change, but right now, how the law of one may describe it would be the body-mind-spirit complex. And how can we understand this? And for me, at least, would be you got the body, the mind, the spirit. Okay? When we understand that we are not the body and we're not the mind, then there's only one thing left. There's only spirit. And what can spirit be? Spirit can be untouchable. Spirit is something that really can't truly suffer because it isn't the body and it isn't the mind. And in the body and the mind is where most, if not all, suffering, depending on who you talk to, happens. So when we understand those prerequisites of we are not the body, we are not the mind, as Sadhguru also teaches, then we can understand that we have this thing that we're using. And what is this thing that we're using? It is the body and the mind. And when we know that, then you can go to the next part, which is all suffering comes from the past and the future. And when you're truly, truly in this now moment, it is so beautiful. And everything is just happening. And it's not about, do I have more emails to check? Do I have things on my to-do list? Do I have people to talk to? Do I have money to make? It's about what's happening right in front of your beautiful eyes. And when you understand that, that's when it starts to happen. All the illusions fade away. And all that's left is this observing. And when you have that observing in the now, then it's just this beautiful essence of super alertness with no thought. And the key is how can we remove thinking from our lives? And you think to yourself, why would I want to remove thinking from my life? And that's because most of us are in this space, as Eckhart Tolle would put it, where we are in the past and present, and we are visitors to the now. But we want to be in the now and visitors to the past and present. Just because you're using the mind and thinking as a tool doesn't mean that you're somewhat less of a person, or you're not thinking as much in terms of logically, or you're just this dude sitting on a rock somewhere, or dudette. So the only thing I believe in is being present. And when we can be present, and be present in every moment, then the magic can happen. And when we aren't open, because those thoughts just keep happening, and it's a rampage of thoughts of I'm not good enough, or even good thoughts, and the thing is, people don't realize as well that when you are completely open, then the love can just pour in beautiful amounts that it couldn't pour in before. And the reason why I couldn't pour in before is because it's kind of like, if you think about it, you have a radio station, and you have two competing radio stations. All right, so you might have 101 point whatever and 101 point whatever junior over here. All right, and when these two are competing on the same channel, they would actually be the same channel in this analogy. So they would actually be 101 point whatever, both of them. So your mind is one aspect of that, and then spirit or higher self may be another aspect, and they're competing for the same channel. And they're saying, hey, I want to be on this channel and I'm talking to you. And then sometimes you being the radio itself is kind of like you are in here tuning. You're tuning yourself to the frequency. Which frequency am I going to be? And most people obviously don't want suffering, but most people are over here. They're listening to the suffering like, oh man, this sucks. How do I get rid of it? And the way to do that is to tune to the other frequency and tune to the frequency of the higher self. And how may we do that? That, my friend, all you have to do, sit back, relax, stop thinking. Yes, stop thinking. And when you stop thinking, then the universal mind may think for you, because you're not this small being trying to find its way in the universe, in this vast universe. You are the universe itself, manifested in this form, and you have this whole universe to work with, and you are on the side of the universe. You're on a team now. You're not just this being, this team of one. Well, technically you are, because everything comes from one, but you're working with this higher power. And this higher power can be called anything. It can be called the Tao. It can be called Buddha. It can be called Christ consciousness. It can be called God itself. It can be called Ra. I mean, there's plenty of different things that throughout the millennia it has been called. And what I'm saying is that we want to be open to connect to this. And when we can connect to this, it is the joy and it is the love and it is the peace. So don't think just because you're not thinking, you're not going to feel those. Because inherently, when you are still and quiet, you can feel this intense, as Eckhart Tolle would put it, intense joy of no thought. And how can we get there? Just with that one thing. And that's just being open to the universe. And it will provide for you. And it's weird because that's not what we're taught as a society. We're taught, hey, we gotta provide for ourselves. We gotta do this. We gotta do that. We have to become something. And I'm here to tell you that you are already that which you yearn to become. It's already inside of you. This beautiful essence is already shining. And all you have to do is tune to that frequency at which it's shining. And when you can do that, life becomes so beautiful. Whew, I hope this helped. Thank you very much for being with me in this here now moment. And if it helped, drop a sub, drop a like, do something. If you don't, it's okay. But thank you so much, and I will see you again, my friend. And thank you.